high school. So we put together a band in there, and we would be playing at all the sock hops and at the YMCA and down at BC Franklin Park, and we started playing in nightclubs. And we were in high school, and we were playing in nightclubs to our teachers and community leaders and all that. They would be out there in the audience, and I'm like, wow, man, I got to go to this class tomorrow at school. You know what I mean? We were we were teenagers, man, and then we go the next day, we go to school, and they be talking about, boy, y'all sounded good last night. You know what I mean? And all that. Y'all, me and Charlie and them, yeah. We get the girls to do our homework and stuff, and all of that kind of stuff,
So
man.
you went to school with Charlie Wilson?
Yeah, we all went to high school together.
Okay.
That's where we went. He went to Carver. He went to Carver Middle School, where they had little bands over there, and I went to Marion Anderson, where we had bands over there. And we would all, come to Booker T. Washington, and put our bands together.
Peace and love. I'm back with another one. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you are a returning viewer, as I always say, I appreciate you checking the content out. I appreciate you helping me build this platform up. I want you to hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment. You know what I mean? Tell me your thoughts on the interviews. Tell me your thoughts on the content. But this is an interview I did with brother Bobby Eaton, a local legend in my city. He's worked with brother Charlie Wilson in his younger days when they were here in Tulsa together, before Charlie became famous and moved outside of Oklahoma. But they're still in contact. They're still good friends. They still have good communication with each other. Anyway, without holding y'all, like I said, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate y'all checking the content out. We're going to jump straight into it. Peace and love, family. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
On behalf of Akuno Sankofa Bay, you know what I'm saying? Jay, where you at? We're trying to help our people elevate. Hope. H-O-P-E. We're giving them hope. We doing what we got to do, Every day, one step at a time, man. We're going to make it happen. Helping our people elevate. Yeah. Sometimes I practice focus, thought, and meditate. I'm trying to come with other ways to help our people elevate and seeking knowledge, make me levitate. The lifted mental state is what results from how we orchestrate. This for the family's sake. Let's self-reflect and self-evaluate. And every day, make sure the steps you take, you calculate. Receive a master's fate. I know I can't exist without the hate, but that's okay. I balance that with higher self today. Success is on this way, and after that, my flesh can pass away.
Okay, peace, family. I'm back with another one. Go ahead and introduce yourself, brother. Tell the people who you know. Let me do this. I have a legend with us right now. I have a legend, a brother that's an honorable brother in the town, somebody that I got the graces of meeting with another brother in the community, and I'm humbled to have this brother on this platform. Tell the people who you are, brother.
All right, man. Hey, man, I'm glad you could have me on your on your format, man. It's my privilege, to be here. And my name is Bobby Eaton Jr. Yes.
The honor, the great legend of. Can you tell us where you're from, brother?
Well, hey, I'm originally from here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, man. Went to school, Booker T. Washington High School, Marion Anderson Junior High School back in the day. And I went to Bunch Elementary and Burroughs Elementary back in the day.
Okay. What was it like growing up in your time in Tulsa?
Well, back in my time, man, we talking those 60s and 70s when blacks were more unified back in those days and those times, man. We didn't have as much crime, not as much drug usage going on. I mean, we had our alcoholics and stuff. Everybody was drinking back in the day, and a lot of parties were taking places. Black Tulsa had so much to do. We didn't have to go out south or go anywhere else, to get our economic development and get things going on, because it was all in North Tulsa.
Yeah, you don't have to go outside your own community.
Man, you didn't have to go nowhere. Everything was over here. Grocery stores, taxi cab services, meat markets, laundromats, you name it, man. Cleaners, movie theaters. Everything was over here in North Tulsa when I was growing up.
Do you remember tell us some I know they had, movie theaters. Did they have we had Bells a little later on, but did they have any type of amusement, any type of entertainment besides movie theaters and clubs?
Well, they had like we used to go out to this place called Lakeview,
Mm-hmm.
out by Yohola, out by the lake,
Mm-hmm.
and out by Mohawk Park, and it was called Lakeview. We go out there every Juneteenth and stuff. And they had the little roller coasters and little bumper cars and things like that back in the day. So I mean, we just didn't have to go nowhere, man. I mean, everything was right here, steakhouses, you name it, was right here in our community. Booker T. Washington was like the hub of the community. It was like our castle. And everybody in the community would go to those football games on Friday nights. We were winning championships, state championships, uh, back in those days, up under the coach Lacey Legacy. And man, it was awesome. It was just awesome and a lot of fun.
Uh, if we can get into it, let's get. I don't want to go too fast, but I want to get into why I say you were a legend in the town. Can we talk about the music? Like, what inspired you to do music?
Oh man, I started playing music back in grade school. I started actually playing music. I was a trombone player, playing that
Mhm.
trombone, and my cousin was the band teacher. His name was Julian Northington, and he along with Mr. Elmer Davis Senior were my band teachers, and I just started kind of picking a niche to kind of liking that music, man. And then, back in those days, we had what we call a lot of talent shows,
Mhm.
and you could get on the talent shows. And one particular talent show, I'll never forget, and people are always reminding me of this talent show that I was on. Is it was at Bunch Elementary School. And back in those days, the Beatles and the Rolling Stones were the big deals, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
So I appeared as Mick Jagger, you know what I mean, on one of those talent shows. And we put on our mother's wigs and stuff, and turtleneck dickies and Beatle boots and stuff. We got up on that stage, and I was doing the James Brown and stuff like that. And girls were screaming and hollering and all of that, So that what really got me inspired. And then I told my mom that I wanted a guitar for Christmas, and she bought me one, and that's when it all got started.
You remember how old you were?
I was 11 or 12 years old when that took place. You know what I mean? Plus, I played sports too at the same time. And I was pretty good over there at Marion Anderson Middle School. I was a wide receiver, used to catch that ball. You know what I
You
mean?
played football. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I played football. Yeah, man. Mr. Lacey and all of them were looking for me to play at Booker T. But unfortunately, by the time I got to Booker T, some things had happened, and my dad took me off the team.
Okay. So, when you got your guitar from 11 to 12, when did you get into? When did you start becoming into a band? When did it
Well,
turn
I
into a
had
band?
little bands back when I first got my guitar, 11 and 12. In the little schools, I would hook up with other students whose parents had bought them a musical instrument. And we put our little bands together and we rehearsed down in the den of my house. And there was a little shed out back that I had taken over from a gentleman who had a barber shop, and he moved out of it. So I moved in,
Hmm.
and it was like my little clubhouse, right?
Yeah.
And here I am in middle school with a little clubhouse, and we set up all my little equipment in there, and I'd run a long extension cord from my family house out there
Yeah.
to that little shed, and so we could have some electricity and kind of start trying to rehearse and being on those talent shows. And that was kind of like the start of my music career. But by the time I got to high school and I stopped playing football, is when I ran into Charlie Wilson and Bakey Honeybee Jones and some a little bit upperclassmen. And I said, okay, all right, I want to play this. And by that time, I had transitioned from playing the electric guitar to bass guitar
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
in high school. So we put together a band in there, and we would be playing at all the sock hops and at the YMCA and down at BC Franklin Park, and we started playing in nightclubs. And we were in high school, and we were playing in nightclubs to our teachers and community leaders and all that. They would be out there in the audience, and I'm like, wow, man, I got to go to this class tomorrow at school. You know what I mean? We were we were teenagers, man, and then we go the next day, we go to school, and they be talking about, boy, y'all sounded good last night. You know what I mean? And all that. Y'all, me and Charlie and them, yeah. We get the girls to do our homework and stuff, and all of that kind of stuff,
So
man. So it
you
was,
went to school with Charlie Wilson.
yeah, we all went to high school together.
Okay.
That's where we went. He went to Carver. He went to Carver Middle School, where they had little bands over there, and I went to Marion Anderson, where we had bands over there. And we would all, come to Booker T. Washington,
Mm-hmm.
and put our bands together. Yeah,
That's dope. That's dope.
yeah.
So
So, and Charlie would, Charlie was playing the organ and singing and stuff like that. And I tell people all the time, I say, man, I've heard that voice, man, for years before it even became famous. You know what I mean? I've been hearing Charlie's voice for forever, So that's what we did.
how long? Okay. So behind you, I see the juice. Can you tell the people what the juice is?
Oh, you see, back here, the Juice Radio Show. Juice Radio Show is my nonprofit of young people from various high schools whom I've put together a program for them in broadcast journalism. Broadcast journalism, black broadcast journalism. It's black on black community radio where we tell our stories our way. So these young people get together and they come into this radio station and they do radio their way. And I take them on various trips during the summer. Like this past summer, they went to Atlanta, Georgia, Memphis, Tennessee, and Washington, D.C., all in one trip. And they went to places such as the Lorraine Hotel in Memphis and Stax Museum in Memphis. And also they went to Atlanta, to CNN, Tyler Perry Studios, things like that. Washington, D.C., they went to the White House and to the Black Museum there, Civil Rights Museum. And, NBC, they went to a whole lot of places. I can't remember where all they went, but my son Trey heads up that program, and he puts all the travel stuff together. And I just basically, hey, got to hustle that money so they can go.
Yeah. Now, from your growing up, sounds like you grew up around, excuse me, you grew up around a lot of political leaders. You grew up around a lot of, not political leaders, but you grew up around a lot of like-minded, for the community, for the people, community type people, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Because a lot of, from when I met you through Brother Baxter, from what I've seen,
Oh, Baxter, that's my brother. Yeah.
everything you've done is for the community.
Mm-hmm.
And even when you opened up the new location and you did the cookout for the community, I want to say thank you for inviting me to be a part of that.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, man.
Thank you also for letting me and Baxter be on the show as well.
Right. Well, you guys are out in the community. You guys do things, and I'm always an advocate for those who are trying to help us improve us as a people. And if you invest the time and things like that, I mean, and you do the work, hey, you can have a win. But we just need more people like yourself, like Baxter and other people to get involved in the community to do stuff.
If we didn't tell the people, what is it, KBOB, I believe?
Yes, KBOB 89.9 FM. We are here 24/7. You can catch us online at kbob899.com. That's the online version of it, the internet version.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got 12 radio shows over here, 12 different radio shows that talk about a variety of different topics concerning you African Americans here in at the radio station. Hmm.
Now, how long have you had the juice going?
The Juice.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the Juice was born in 2015. That's when I first. Well, I started the radio station in 2014, but I didn't have anything designed for young people.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to come up with something for young people. Somebody asked me that. They said, "Well, Bobby, you got the radio station, but what do you have for young people?" And I had to really look at it and said, I don't have anything for young people. So I created the Juice Radio Show.
What inspired the juice or the radio station before the young children came in? What inspired you to like go get a radio station?
Well, what really, to tell you the truth, what really inspired me was the fact that I really didn't want to come back to Tulsa. You know, Mom's took sick, had to come back, spent some time with her before she passed in 2018. And while I was back here, I realized it wasn't any black journalism. Nobody was,
Facts.
it wasn't anything going on, man. I would go out and about and somebody would say, "Hey, Bobby, why come you didn't come to the town hall meeting?" I say, "What town hall meeting? Why come you didn't come down to City Hall and so and so?" "What City Hall?" I didn't know of any information. I never heard of anything going on. So I said, my father and uncle had uncles had a building and a house over there at the old place, and the building was where the civil rights movement of Black Tulsa started, and it's a duplex. It was a duplex. One side was where the old barbershop was, and the other side was empty, where my grandfather Joe Eaton, he used to let family open up businesses over there. So I moved into the house next door to that building, and I opened up a radio station over there in the building in the duplex. And first it was just internet based,
Mhm.
you know. And what I said I was going to do is I was just going to invite all of my friends who were in entertainment, because we ended up going out to California, to Hollywood. Me along with the Gap Band and others, we all went out to California pursuing our dreams when we first went out there. Yeah.
Now I've seen on your wall there's quite a few people that you've had the honor of meeting and having on your show on your platform. Can you name some of those people besides Charlie Wilson that you've met or you've had on your platform?
Well, I've done a lot of interviews, man. I've done a lot of them, man. I've had Jesse Jackson in here, Al Sharpton's been in here, Dr. Umar Johnson's been in here, Danny Glover, Alfred Woodard. I mean, the list goes on and on. A lot of people have come into the radio station, and we've done multiple interviews with them. And plus, not only the high profile people, but I've had homeless people in here, you know, who, because we tell our stories our way, and I don't really put people on pedestals.
Mhm.
People, I don't put them on pedestals, because if the mayor comes through the door and wants to talk to Bobby Eaton,
He
and
just
I'm
yeah,
talking to a homeless person, he gotta wait.
yeah.
You know, he just gotta wait till I get through, and that's the way I think, because everybody's on the same playing level with me when it comes to this radio station.
And I respect that because that's how I feel with this platform. I want to get everyone's story heard. Whether I do want to one day get someone that's someone less fortunate, you know what I mean, going through something and hear their story. You know what I mean? That's something that I would like to get on this platform as well. But back to the music. What I want to know next? It's a lot I want to ask. It's just
Well, the music, man, the music. That was I left. We played together, man, around, and I'm going back. When I was a teenager, we were playing around. They had a whole lot of places to play back then in Black Tulsa. There were clubs everywhere. There were sock hops and places to play. And we would just play at those places, you were never without a gig. You could always call up a club owner that didn't have nothing going on, and he let you come on in there and play. And me and Charlie Wilson and all of us we had bands and stuff like that. I had a band called the Liberators, and the Liberators were a band. It was like a 7 to 9 piece band, and we would play at this place called the Gallery Supper Club,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
We were kids. Now you got to take in. My dad used to manage us because we were kids,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to keep us safe off in there. And we were kids, but hey, man, we were some bad little boys too, because we would ask some of them older guys to buy us a drink.
Yeah.
You know, they wouldn't sell us the drinks, and they go buy us a drink and go set it on the table, and we go over there and take a sip of it and set it back down, you know, and play and stuff. We in high school, so we were kind of managing doing some little boy stuff. Me and Charlie and Bobby Giles and Dooney Mitchell Edwards and you know, some of us, and we had a band, and we were good, man. We were so good that all of the adults were coming out to hear us. Now, across the street from the Gallery Supper Club was another club called the International Club,
Mm-hmm.
which Ronnie Wilson, Charlie's brother, was, and his peers were playing in. They were older guys.
Mm-hmm.
The young guys in one club, the older guys in another club, but we had a packed house. You know, people was all standing room only. Charlie was in there singing with us, and we had a nice band, and we were doing all of the latest music. Across the street, Ronnie and his group were called the Greenwood Archer and Pine Street Band, which short is the Gap Band.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, and basically they didn't have anybody going over there with them, but they were a group bad band. Now they sounded good. They were playing more mature music than what we were playing, but
Okay.
we were playing the new day stuff. You know, we were playing the Kool and the Gang and stuff like that music, and
Mm-hmm.
was over there playing the Bobby Womack stuff and all of that. So what happened was my cousin who taught me music back in elementary school that I mentioned to you earlier, he was the band director at Langston University, and he got a job at Central State University up in Ohio, up in Ohio.
Okay.
So they gave him a bunch of money and scholarship money. So he didn't just go out into the community and recruit a bunch of people. He recruited my band, the Liberators, the whole band, and took us up there with him to Ohio. Unfortunately, Charlie didn't go. Charlie stayed back because he had fell in love with this older woman, and he got married, and he stayed behind. And meanwhile, while we were in Tulsa, Ronnie Wilson was standing at the back of the club and watch us play, because we had an early set and they had a late set, and he had his arms crossed like that and watching us play in front of all these people, kind of jealous, you know. And so we left, went to Ohio. Charlie he offered Charlie $50 more to come over there and play with him. So Charlie would push his organ right across the street every time we played. And so we went off to Ohio. Charlie stayed back here, and that's when the Gap Band formed.
Okay. Okay. That's history. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's when the Gap Band took place.
Now, another question, kind of serious question. I want to know, like, your thoughts.
Okay.
I thought I froze. Hold on. Let me.
A little delay right there. You were saying what?
My question I was asking is, hold on. I froze for a second.
Yeah, you froze out for a minute there.
My question that I'm asking is, growing up in Tulsa, from your childhood to now, the change that you've seen in the community, as far as like you said, we had all the businesses then. I think about Greenwood, you had all the businesses then. So in the 60s and 70s, you said we had a lot of businesses as well. It was a lot of Black unity together here in Tulsa as well.
Well, to tell you the truth, I just really don't see a lot of Black economic development. I see a lot of gentrification taking place, but not a lot of Black economic development. It's not here no more. It disappeared urban removal came in and removed all the buildings and knocked down everything and tore down a lot of stuff. And, a lot of our kings and queens are deceased now, they're gone. The next generations did not keep those facilities and upbuild those businesses and things like that. So, hey, they tore them all down. We don't have them anymore. And, integration came in, which is there is no real integration. And people left the community. They moved out of the community. And so the community started deteriorating. So now, if you ride through Black North Tulsa, you see a lot of abandoned houses and buildings and things like that. They're trying to build a few new homes and stuff over here, but man, it's really not a lot of economic development. I think a lot of people left because of convenience. They realize that if they move out south somewhere, you can find the cleaners, you can go straight to a grocery store, you can do different things, which we didn't have over here in Black Tulsa.
And then you made me think, I stay towards the Fortune Park now. I'm not out north anymore, but when I do ride down Peoria, when I head north and I see that Soul Brothers Car Wash is gone, Comanche Apartments are gone, just the way Peoria looks now, it's almost empty.
Yeah, it's empty.
Gentrification.
And I know that they've got plans for those vacancies in those places, because over there where Comanche was, they're getting ready to build 500 new apartment buildings and stuff like that, townhomes and apartment buildings right there. That's in the process of being built, and it's a few little things that's going on, but it probably some of that won't be affordable for low income people to afford to even move in it. So gentrification's taking over, man. It is.
And that's what I say. Yeah, I mean, and that goes back to a few years back when they started taking all the security out the apartments in North Tulsa, Apache, Comanche, Morningstar, Vernon Manor, and they started tearing all these buildings down. Like you say, gentrification. But I don't know. I mean, everything's off the top of my head, so I apologize if I get quiet for a second. I'm just
Well, now I can understand that, because man, you're right on point, man. Whenever you have a community, man, that's being destroyed, and this is not just happening in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's happening across this United States of America in very underserved communities. It's happening, man. If you go to Memphis, they got it happening there. If you go to Chicago, LA, New York, any of these cities, it's happening. The gentrification is taking place, and they've lost a lot if you don't preserve the history, of your community. And we haven't in Black Tulsa, we haven't preserved a lot of our history. We've had a lot of things torn down and erased. So when our kids grow up, they'll never know it even existed.
it's like a lot of us here didn't know about Black Wall Street. As
Oh,
far
for
as I mean, they don't teach that history here.
You know what? Even the governors and all of that, they don't want it to be taught. They don't want the truth to be told. They always want to hide behind what I say, just hide behind the eight ball and not tell the truth and not. We got one month we call Black History Month, which I don't believe in that. I just think it's every day is Black History Month. You know what I mean? Say, 365 days a year. And they just don't never want to really tell the truth, man. They
Like you
don't
said,
want
I mean, it's a 365 because every day you can learn
to.
something new about our history.
Hey, it's American history.
Hmm. It's world history.
Yeah, it's world history.
You know,
You know what I mean? And everybody should know about it, man. It should be taught. They're afraid that the white kids are going to get uh, so scared and in fear of, well, and afraid and all. Hey, man, hey, we dealt with that, man, that trauma and stuff like that. We went through all of that, man. Many of our people got hung from trees and got killed and stabbed and you name it, man. We
poetry,
went
yeah, no,
through
yeah,
trauma.
yeah. And
We
that's
did, you know.
That's something else they don't want to talk about or they don't want to take accountability for.
Don't want to take accountability for that trauma, that took place uh, even before 1921.
Mm-hmm.
It was just trauma. The Atlantic slave trade, in which, there's a reason, man, why I'm light skinned the way I am and you're
Mm-hmm.
dark skinned the way you are. That melanin had gotten infiltrated,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
and it caused a lot of us here in this United States to be like a bouquet of flowers. We're all shades and colors here.
Mm-hmm.
And, because the melanin got infiltrated. And a lot of people who whose ancestors were the forefathers of this country uh, don't feel like they're responsible for anything that took place. Oh, well, they say stuff like, oh, well, that was my grandpa's and my great grandfather and them. I didn't do any of that. But you're reaping the benefits
Exactly.
of what took place. You're
Exactly.
reaping those benefits.
And that's like a lot of we're not promoting hate. I'm not saying anything hateful,
There's
but
nothing hateful, but we're just telling the truth.
here in Tulsa, it's like a lot of our people won't come together because some of our people love them from a lack of knowing the history. I feel a lot of black people
I
love
think,
so-called white people from a lack
yeah,
of knowledge.
I think it's a mental conditioning, to whereas people are content living and not educating themselves about themselves, and when you don't know anything about yourself, how can you know where to go forward if you don't know where you come from?
That
You-
part.
And I think some of us as black people here in Tulsa, we just don't want to know. We think all of that's just some hogwash and some talk, and we're content just sitting at home drinking that cup of coffee and watching that Price is Right and Judge Mathis and all of that foolishness when you could be doing some research to know about your history.
Like I heard a lot of people say, a lot of younger people say, "Oh, I couldn't have been back then," or "I couldn't have been in those times." But we're living those times today.
Man, look, they say that, they say that,
Right.
but if they was back in them times, they would be doing the same
They
thing.
wouldn't have had no
That
choice.
they would have had no choice. You know, you're gonna if you're gonna be rebellious and try to fight against the system, man, you're gonna get beat down, whipped, burnt, or whatever they wanted to do to you.
Because that
But I used to always think like this. I said, man, now how can 40 slaves be out in the cotton fields picking cotton, and you got a master and his wife, and he may have two kids, and maybe two white men on horses with guns overtake these people?
I question that. You got 100.
Huh?
It's like I question that, like you say, 40 people, but I would always say like you got 100 people on one plantation,
Yeah,
and at the max, maybe like you said, maybe 5 or 6 Caucasians, the
maybe,
master,
and
his wife.
maybe at the max. And how do they control their minds? It was their minds is what they control. You know what I mean? And if you get somebody's mind, then you can control them.
Hmm. And
You
that's
can
how
get
they
them
did it
to
as
do
a
almost
child.
yeah, you can get them to do almost anything you want them to do.
And that's why
See,
we love. Go ahead.
yeah, Mr. Johnson would always. I mean, you're familiar with the Willie Lynch syndrome,
Hmm.
correct?
Hmm. Hmm.
Willie Lynch would go to different plantations to talk to the slave owners how to control their slaves.
Hmm.
Man, we've had this conversation before, me and you.
Hmm.
But he would tell them tactics how to control your slaves. He would say things such as, you put the light skinned one against
Hmm.
the dark skinned one, and you make the light skinned one the house need, you know what I mean, in the house, and
Hmm.
the dark skin went out in the pasture, out in the field, and you would pit them against each other.
Young versus old.
Young versus
Got this shit
old,
right.
man versus woman, marriage and marriages and all of that. Pit them against you. You go out there and you make an example of one of your slaves by also tying a rope around one of them's arm and a rope around and put two horses on the end and
With
split
his
them
tied
apart.
feet together, yeah.
Yeah. Tie him like that, and then hit him and split him open, and his guts will fall all out in front of all the other slaves, and
That
that
fear, the
all
psychological
fear.
fear.
Woo! You know what I mean? That would install so much fear. You give your instructions to Big Mama. Tell Big Mama, look here, Big Mama, I want 400 pounds of cotton from Sam and Joe. Big Mama go out there and tell Sam and Joe, Master say he want 400 pounds of cotton. That's what they do. Uh, 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 Humiliate a man in front of his wife and his kids. Go out to the slave quarters, and them white men will go out there and have sex with that male, with that female in front of the husband
And,
and the
and,
kids.
and then also in the end of the Willie Lynch, it says the breaking of the woman was the most important.
That's it.
After what you just said, after she witnesses that, she's gonna make sure her children don't go through that.
Right.
It's important for her to see this and for her to understand the torture, so that when she has her children in the bookie call them mares or offspring, and that they
Right.
are animals, that they were less than human. But once she sees this, then she's gonna teach her son to be physically strong but mentally weak, to depend on that master. She's gonna teach her daughter she can't depend on the man, but depend on the white man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Don't depend on the black man because he's already been broken.
You don't depend on him at all.
Yeah. But
Don't
depending
take his
on,
word for anything.
and so
Yeah.
that goes in the modern day government assistance, or just in modern times. Like I said, they say they can't be back that then, but if you look at today's day, our women talk down on us, but they love this system.
One thing about the system is in control, because our women will go to work today and they'll go up in there and they'll have cubicles and things, and whatever that white man tells them to do, they will do it.
Mm-hmm.
They will do whatever that white man on those jobs, whatever that white man tells them to do, they'll do it. But if they come home and that husband, boyfriend or whatever asks them to do something, they ain't not gonna really want to do it.
There's an argument behind it.
The argument is a fussing, and that hyena voice takes place, and that submission does not take place a lot, because a lot of our men today are being raised by single parent mothers, up in with no man in the house. And I don't think a lot of women value being a wife in today's time. I'm talking about
Right,
modern day.
right.
Modern day. I don't think they value being a wife and being married, and that type of things. They want to also wait until they get their degree and get their job and all that. Then they want to settle down with a man, and by that time they're up in age, and it's just almost like too late, to get things going, because I don't think they really value that wife. The other day I was talking to a couple of ladies, and I said 1921 relationships between men and women were better than what it is today. You know what I mean? But they were saying, well, women were so restricted to what they could do. I said, yeah, because those women were concerned about family.
Even
FAM, it's about the family.
even hearing you say 1921, I go back to even before then. I mean, even
Oh
before
yeah,
then,
even before then,
you know what I mean?
those women were concerned about family, raising their children,
Mm-hmm.
raising their family, supporting their man while their man was out there gritting and grinding, trying to get that bag. That's what they call it now, bag.
Whether it
Trying to
was
get
picking cotton or going to a job.
whatever job, coming home tired, dirty, and all of that. She was taking care of that home and them kids,
Mm-hmm. Now they
and
want to be in the videos.
huh?
Say now they want to be in the video, shaking their behinds. Now they want to
Working. They want to be in the videos. They want to be just all looking crazy, wearing the windshield wiper eyelashes,
yeah.
fake hair. They want to put on fake hair and
When I was
all of.
working with Baxter at the hookah, that's
Yeah.
how they come in the club. So I mean, they come in the hookah so much. ain't got and half naked. I mean, and I get it. Everybody want to enjoy yourself, but this is a every we celebrate every weekend like we accomplished something. Then the club every weekend like they didn't done like we free or something. And I don't understand that mentality. I mean, I get it. It's the music. It's the propaganda.
Well,
It's
that's where it's influenced by. When you have Cardi B and Megan them
yeah.
all out here portraying women in this particular light, and these rappers with these videos and these girls and all of this stuff is happening, and they see this every day and all day, and they hear this negative music, then it becomes a lifestyle and a way of life for them.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have any positive input in their lives to be a wife, or to be you know to be somebody that's got a little value to themselves. A lot of women today, they want it all. They want your money, my money, plus they want to have their own independence,
Mm-hmm.
you know and it's not working. You can't have it all. There's no way you can have it all.
And then that
You
goes back to you didn't. They don't want anything to do with motherhood or
mother motherhood,
you know what
man.
I'm saying?
A chick can, I'm gonna say, a lady could have 3 children, and she could meet you, and she expects you to take on her and her 3 children.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
take care of her and her 3 children.
Like you supposed to. I mean, you supposed to have more, and she's supposed to be able to bring just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little. She just bring a little bit, and she has that expectation right there. So therefore, you have to. If you have a child, that means you got to feed your child and her 3 children.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
You know, so they don't understand the liability it is when you take on a situation like that.
and then again, I mean, that goes back to, and that's why marriage is so low in our community now. And I mean,
Man, they say today people are not even getting married anymore, man. Like you said, it's so low. Young people are not even getting married. Independency has taken a high priority
mm-hmm.
amongst black females. 80% of black female are obese and overweight. You know what I mean? And 80% of them are filing for divorce. Those numbers, those are stats and facts. That's not nothing Bobby Eaton is just making up. Look it up for yourself. Yeah, it's real crazy, man. When you really think about it, times have bought a change, man. It's 2024, and this independence of people today, guys wanting to be to themselves, and then the women wanting to be to themselves with the city girl stuff and
Mm-hmm.
all of that hot summer and all of that kind of stuff. And it's just terrible, man. If you ask me, and I'm a senior, if you ask me, it's just terrible. It's not as good as it used to be.
And that's what I said. 2024, we got to stop saying, "Oh, I don't need no man. I don't need no woman." We need each other.
Yeah, we
In
do. We need
reality, we need each other.
we were made and created for each other. You know what I mean? No matter what our faults and stuff are, we are made for each other.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to start learning how to make our way back to each other. And that's what we got to do.
And that go back to what you were saying with music, as far as my generation. I remember you had Jill Scott, Lauren Hill, Erica Badu, Floetry. I mean, all these conscious sisters that were speaking about loving the man or
Oh yeah.
uplifting the women, uplifting
Mhm.
themselves. To where now you got like the little Ice Spice and the parties and all these chicks where they just talk about taking a man money, setting him up. You know what I'm saying? It's just
All this
propaganda.
negativity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the frequencies.
You
Music
know,
controls the mind.
if you hear a lot of that every day and all day, and that's all you hear, you become your environment. You know, you become just what you are. They say birds of a feather flock
Right
together,
together. Mm-hmm.
and you become that. But they say, but if you hang around like-minded people who trying to go somewhere. That's why I try to surround myself around people I can learn something from.
Mm-hmm.
Even at my age, somebody I can learn something from. And at the same time, I tell a lot of my younger people, I say, look, you guys need my wisdom. You
Mm-hmm.
need my wisdom, and
Mm-hmm.
I need your energy.
Mm-hmm. Facts. We need each other.
I need your energy. You need my wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Together, man, you can make things happen. You know, every day Bobby Eaton wakes up at 5 o'clock, 7 days a week. And I do that for a reason. I've conditioned myself mentally to do that because I realize when I wake up at 5, it is peace and quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody around. There's no phones going on. There's nothing happening or nobody pulling on you. You know what I mean? And I can get peace of mind to figure out what I'm going to do throughout my day. And it's a good thing. I've learned how to do that, how to be focused.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Become focused. You can't do something this time and wait to a week and a half to do it again, and then wait 2 weeks later, do it again. We have to be consistent. And Baxter will tell you, my favorite word is consistency.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be consistency in order to grow your brand, to move up the ladder, to get new facilities and do new stuff. You
Mm-hmm.
be consistent.
I spoke to him yesterday. He was saying we're gonna do another respect march in March. I think he said he starts school next week.
Yeah, he's going back to school. Baxter is going back to school. I'm so proud of my brother. And, we talk all the time, just like you guys do.
Mm-hmm.
And, man, I'm just proud of him, man, to go back and get knowledge and that information.
Yeah, for him overcoming the situation to where he is now, I'm proud of him as well. That's a big accomplishment. And then the work we've done, I remember a lot of days riding in the summer cold. you know, putting that
Yeah,
community work in, standing out there talking to the community, putting those events together with him, going to the council meetings, even me with Chief, going to City Hall council meeting. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I've done with a lot of the brothers I've met, I'm humble. In April
yeah,
of this year, it'll be 10 years that I've been on this community path.
yeah. We got to be humble, man. You know what I mean? And what we do, that's the only way we're going to get blessed is be humble. And, you know what I mean? And have a purpose for doing what you're doing. If you're doing it for self gain and self awareness and self this and self all about me, 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 me,
It ain't gonna work.
it ain't gonna work, man.
It ain't gonna work.
You'll get a temporary fix out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And but if you're doing it not expecting anything, hey man, that's when everything starts coming together.
And that's why I'm glad I'm working with that brother. And then even me building this platform, I'm starting to see it grow more. The more consistent I come with the information, the more I keep pushing it, the more it starts to grow more.
Well,
Uh,
your platform is growing and continue on to do that, man, because we need more platforms that are going to use this internet and all of this for something positive and
mm-hmm.
not just negative stuff. You
Mm-hmm.
know, yeah, we'll use the internet for things that really, that are just negative.
When there's so much information out there.
So much information, man. I was just over in Africa on YouTube day before yesterday. I was just taking some journeys over there.
Mm-hmm.
Got so much there. It was almost like I was there.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, but you can do stuff like that. You can get the information that you need on the internet. I mean, I tell people, I say, you can get you a degree on your phone. You know,
Like real talk.
technology is there, and if you're not using it for the right stuff, man, I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, you can literally go on YouTube and they tell you how to fix a refrigerator, how to fix your car,
Man,
how to fix
everything,
the
everything
vacuum.
that you can think of, you
you
can
know,
you can go on the internet and find it.
and that's why I say like we have smartphones and dumb people.
Smartphones, which I call computers,
Mm-hmm.
we own computers every day,
Mm-hmm.
and dumb people wasting their time on foolishness and dumb stuff when you can get information to put inside your big head and knowledge inside your big head, discover things that you don't know anything about, you
Hmm.
know what I mean, that make you go, wow, man, I didn't know that.
And pass
If
it
you
down to
just
the
use it,
children.
huh?
And pass it down to the children.
And pass it down to the little babies. Tell the little babies about some of this history, some of this knowledge, and some of this stuff. Don't just hold it to yourself.
Like I was looking at China in their schools versus American schools. It's China elementary schools is on high school level here.
Man, those kids go to school year round.
That's
You
what I'm
know,
saying. Like
they
they
go to
so
school.
intelligent.
They be in school 12 hours a day, stuff like that. They're disciplined. They have the knowledge. They're disciplined. That's why the technology, they are so much more advanced than we are over here in the United States
Mhm.
because all the Samsung, the Sonys, the Mitsubishis, and Kawasaki's, and all of those are yeah, Asian names, and they are advanced, way more advanced than us.
Uh, I was listening to one of those political radio stations that they had down here, one of those white political stations, and they were talking about, I forgot the guy's name, but he was talking about vote for him. He wants to rebuild that wall. And I thought to myself, even though y'all not gonna build the wall, it's a distraction. But if y'all work to build that wall, you know how much product y'all will lose out on? How much product comes into America from Mexico? How much fruit, vegetable, how much resources come into this country from over there? Or come over to this land from over there?
And I personally don't think they'll be able to stop
They will.
Hispanics from coming over here to America. I
They will.
think I think it's too late. Too late.
It
And that's
is.
what I really feel. It's too late. You build a wall, okay. Man, look how many people we have over here already. It's too late. You know what I mean? You know, if you were gonna do something like that, you should have did that years ago. You know what I mean? But it's too late. They're steadily every day, as we speak right now, coming into this country.
And even if we speak truth, the government got too many connections with the cartel. The government got their hands in too much illegal
Man,
activities over there.
the cartels are buying their guns and stuff from America.
When I was in San Antonio some years back, it's right there on the borderline.
Oh, for sure.
You see so many of them, so I already know it's happening.
Man, so much dirty stuff going on and guards getting paid off and monies and
Hmm.
man, it's crooked, a lot of crookedness. You know, it's just so much stuff going on. It's too late.
I look at it like the system is a two-headed snake. They one saying one thing, the other one saying another, but you know what I mean? It's one body. They really just fooling the people. But on camera, it look like they enemies. But
Oh
when
yeah,
the cameras
sure.
go off, they
For sure.
best of buddies.
For sure. You know, it's systematic control.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean, just like the drug cartels and all of that. You know, you know, in our communities, black community, we don't manufacture no drugs.
Come on now.
Man, we ain't got no planes and no boats or no trains or nothing. We bringing drugs into our communities.
We don't have the
We,
connections
we
to
don't
the
do
to the
that. We don't
guns,
have,
none of that. Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean. But we're some of the biggest consumers of it
Mm-hmm.
because Mister Westmeyer will go over there and get Pookie and JoJo and give it to them and tell them to disperse it amongst the community.
See, when you say that, you got me thinking. So you got to see the shift in that. You got to see the shift when the crack hit our community.
Almost definitely. There was a time in the '70s when cocaine was powdered cocaine
Mm-hmm.
and it was high dollar and the elite and the rich people snorted cocaine, right?
Mm-hmm.
But boy, when they found out that they could transform that cocaine into crack, that's when and crack became affordable for the underserved and the impoverished people. That's when things started changing. Hip hop came in, and hip hop was all clean and clean and stuff. A hip hop, the hippie to
Mm-hmm.
the hippie, that was all clean and LL Cool J and all of them, Africa Membata and all of these people. That was clean hip hop. But boy, when that NWA came out, and they started exploiting us with all of those movies, Nino Brown and Colors and all of that. That changed the whole narrative of the community.
I can
Everybody
see that.
wanted to be like Nino. Everybody wanted to be like, everybody. And
Mm-hmm.
so it was like people started taking on those those and even before then we had the Superfly movies and
Mm-hmm.
the Mac and all of that pimp movies and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that during my era in the
Mm-hmm.
70s. Then it changed into gangster stuff, gangster rap, and the gangs started growing.
Mm-hmm.
Gang activity started taking place, and man, it just got out of hand.
Was there a Black Panther organization here in Tulsa? The Black Panthers ever?
Yes, there were. There
Okay.
were a Black Panther organization here in Tulsa. I don't think that the organizations that were here in Tulsa, they were really that strong,
Mm-hmm.
Black Panther, but
Mm-hmm.
it was some Panthers here in Tulsa.
Okay, because that's what I'm saying. I want to say like I could see the shift. I grew up in the 80s, well, I'm an 80s baby. I grew up in the 90s, but I could see, like you say, when the movies and the hip hop changed, going back to EMPD,
Yeah,
KRS-One, Chuck D, people of that nature to like you say, NWA when they dope man, F the police,
right.
Too Short with the pimping music and exploiting our women to what Atlanta coming up. They went talking about shaking their butt, twerking in the club. Then you had Texas with the syrup and the pills. I could see how the music influenced the minds and the generations.
It was a big influence, man. It changed the whole culture of our people's thinking, and the prison system started growing and growing. It just started getting a lot incarcerated Black men, were getting busted during that period, going to jail doing 10, 15, 25 years, of incarceration because
Young
they,
men,
huh?
young men.
Young men, you know what I mean? They was taking these men out of their households and away from their families. And, the stats say that about 68% of our prison system are incarcerated Black men.
Mm-hmm,
That's the stats.
mm-hmm.
I deal with stats and figures. And that's real sad, man. 68% of our prison system in the United States are incarcerated Black men, you know?
And now they have what's called drill music.
Yeah,
And I've heard recently. I called Baxter yesterday because I heard a song where the young brother that passed away that we did the rally for. I saw a song of some young guys who mentioned his name in the song, and it was a disrespectful song. And so I called Baxter on and talked to him about it. We watched it or whatever. Long story short, the drill music, or I'm gonna say this, teen death in the last 10 years has risen 50%.
it has. Suicide.
Source, what is it? Homicides, accidents, and suicides.
Hmm.
We just had a 12-year-old that was shot after New Year's, a 17-year-old shot after New Year's.
Right here in Tulsa.
I mean, and 13, I believe, when he was killed. I mean, so it's babies killing babies. I just did a video on a
Man,
16-year-old.
these kids are getting a hold to these weapons and guns and high powered rifles and stuff, man, and praising those tools, man, that kill and destroy.
Mm-hmm,
And it's bad that they're able to even get a hold of that, man. Last year, I knew a couple of young people who lost their lives, not just behind guns, but behind drugs.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because, just
Yeah,
crazy.
fentanyl was big here too. A lot of people I know that died off of that the last couple years.
Oh, that fentanyl?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the new drug. That's the new drug right now. I don't hear a lot of people dying off of anything else other than that fentanyl. And it was that meth.
Mm-hmm.
It was that crack before then. And so now it's man it's at a whole nother dimension, you
Like,
know, and it's bad, man, that we have to partake in such that type of behavior, man. And I think a lot of it has to do with depression.
mm-hmm.
It has to do with depression because a lot of our people are depressed. So we self medicate ourselves with drugs and alcohol to take our minds off of our issues and our problems.
I say it's post-traumatic slave disorder, PTSD, and then
That's
I
what it
say
is.
childhood trauma.
Childhood trauma. A lot of us have been traumatized, and we've never dealt with our issues.
Hmm. And we don't know how to speak about it because if we talk to somebody, we feel like they're gonna make fun of us, or I mean, we don't know how
Right,
to talk about
right,
it.
right. When you tell and suggest somebody to go to therapy, oh no, I ain't gonna go no therapy. But then again, you don't have enough black therapists to
Hmm.
give you therapy culturally, you
Hmm.
know. So that's another issue too.
Like, do you think that we can rebuild Black Wall Street? It could ever be rebuilt? Maybe not in our time, maybe not in my generation, but the
The
future.
only way Black Wall Street can get rebuilt is that the patrons and the community come together as one and start working on black stuff down on Black Wall Street. Get rid of those people who are holding Black Wall Street back, who are selling it out to other cultures. That's the only way you're going to get anything back. I mean, they bought up most of everything already.
That part.
So it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to obtain the buildings and the dirt and the grounds and stuff like that. Again, it's going to be just hard.
I want to see a change. I want to see us. A lot of people in our community do a lot of work in our community. There are a lot of conscious, a lot of open minded, a lot of people that are doing a lot of positivity in Tulsa. But with all the positivity, it seems like it's just so much negativity. Keep trying to that scale of good and bad, or good and evil. It's like that scale keep trying to tilt more evil or more negativity to knock out the positivity. I
What
could see. Go ahead.
that right there is to me. That right there is you only in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I see just a very few frontline soldiers
Real talk.
frontline soldiers who are in the army to make a change. And you can almost name who's who and who's doing what, and you know what I mean, to make a change. Everybody else is just sitting back at home. They're not volunteering to do anything. They're not participating in anything. And they're just living in this box. You know what I mean? Every day living in the box and not really living life, and not fighting for anything. So until you get out. I just ran into some guys the other day. The other day I was at a Quick Trip. I'm gonna share a story with you. I'm standing in line at a Quick Trip and getting ready to pay for my stuff. And out of the side of my left ear, I heard some guys say, "Oh man, that's him. That's Bobby Eaton. He on a radio station. He used to play with Natalie Cole." I didn't just turn around like this. I just kept on going, pay for my stuff. So I left, started walking to my car. And the guys came behind me. They say, "Mr. Eden, Mr. Eden." I said, "Yeah, how can I help you?" They say, "Man, we love what you're doing, man. We really appreciate what you're doing. We support you. We really support you." And it just hit me. I had to say, "How do you support me?
Hmm.
How do you support us? What are you doing to support us?" And they couldn't answer the question. All they could do well, I'm gonna get involved. I'm gonna do. I said, "Man, look here. Go down there and cut Miss Williams' grass when you see us high. You know she lived by herself. Go, go mentor this little boy over here. This little boy over here with his mama. Go mentor him. Take him out. Show him how to cut the grass or do something or lift some stuff. Buy him a pizza. Do something, man. Empower him. Tell him the stories of Black Wall Street. Get with him and encourage him to do better in his life.
Hmm.
Our girls and stuff to do better. I say, ladies need to do the same thing. They need
Facts.
to talk to these women, these little girls and stuff coming in the stores with bonnets on their head and in their pajamas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
We have to change, man.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
know
they
what I
be
mean?
in Walmart shorts all up, they butter. Just like you said, I
And
mean, just
Walmart starts
it'd be
and
crazy. Yeah,
all of that. And I mean, we have to change, and change starts right here
yeah, within.
within. Man. That's where change starts. Because you can never grow unless you have self awareness.
Mm-hmm. And you gotta take self accountability for your actions
Man,
to
look,
even want to change.
if I do something wrong, I gotta be accountable for what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say, oh man, you did this and you did that. No, not when it was me. I
That's
have to become accountable for everything negative and bad that I do.
in 2014 when I made my change. It was that Michael Jackson "Man in the Mirror." That was the motivation. I played that song for like 2, 3 months straight.
Man, that was your theme song,
Yeah,
huh?
that was all I would listen to. You know what I mean? And I mean, just the thought of the verses, everything he's saying now. I mean, it's the reality. I mean, I look out my window, I just think about the world we in. And the only way like I said when I was on CNN, the only way to get change is you got to create change. You got to start with self.
You know, when people seek after people like you and myself to go on these shows and stuff like that, and we have to just tell the truth because the truth will set us free,
Hmm.
and that's what we have to do. It will set us free.
And that's what needs to be. I mean, we have like you can't come with a cure for the illness unless you talk about it, unless you expose the symptoms or the you know what I mean, I can't fix something unless I know what's wrong.
You have to discover it's kind of like a car. If the car has a flat, you have to go find out ways to get a tire to put on that car to make it run again.
Mhm.
And if you don't never go repair that flat, you can't drive that car.
And that's we think we could just rush it. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know, but I feel like as things here in Tulsa, I think for a lot of people it'd be trendy. Like you said, when there's a I tried to give us the big props that there's a lot of people doing a lot of community work, but you're right. There's a few that are really actually doing the actual work. There's a few that's actually there on certain places, consistent meetings, consistently out there trying to make change. I'm not gonna act like I'm one of the consistent ones, but I am a part of one of those ones that be trying to do my part. But where I'm going with that is that I feel a lot of people in Tulsa do things for trends or for the spotlight, for clout.
You know, you know, you can either be a big fish in a small pond, or you can be a fish in the ocean. You have a choice. If you think small and think within this little community, that's where you're going to be. But if you think big outside the community and you try to make your way, you'll get knowledge from bigger fish that can help you in the community that you are in. Because Tulsa, there's other places just like Tulsa. There's cities just like Tulsa going through the same kind of rhetoric and opposition and stuff like Tulsa. But even though we're a red state and controlled by a lot of Klansmen and racist people, if we don't unify, then we're going to still continue on to be the same way.
Uh, I just had it in my head what I was about to ask you. It was something that you just said. It'll come back to me in a second.
Yeah,
Uh,
but
go
it's
ahead.
just something it's something that we have to all become aware of. And awareness is something that you have to obtain, and you have to work on yourself every day, and you have to open your eyes so you can see what is happening in
Okay,
front.
I
You
know.
gotta you can't put them blinders on like this. you
Yeah,
gotta you gotta take them blinders off
yeah. So you see the whole. Yeah.
so you can see the whole peripheral vision, so you
Mhm.
can turn to this side and turn to that side, and you can say, oh man, I see it.
Now going back to earlier when you were saying like growing up, the family structure was different to compared to conduct. I can't even talk. growing up, the family structure was different compared to today's times.
For sure.
From what I've realized in my last maybe 6, 7 years, when we lose Big Mama, Grandma, Auntie, Mama, the family is no longer what it
Woo,
was.
boy. You saying, man, you said a mouthful right there, man. When we lose our kings and our queens and our prince and our princesses, man, the whole narrative of the family changes, man. And the families are not close anymore, and they just not going over grandma and grandpa's house, man, to see how they doing, and meeting up with your cousins and stuff over there because you over there and they over there too, and it's just when you lose them, man, just changes.
It's like
Yeah.
there's no family reunions no more.
What's a family reunion?
You see what I'm saying? And that made me think like, in order for the outside world to see a change, it has to start within the household. It's got to start with the family.
It used to be a time to where even on Sunday mornings and Sundays that families would eat over grandma's house and everybody would meet up to grandma's house on Sundays after they got out of service or wherever they were at. I had a grandma and a grandpa. Grandma would make biscuits for all of her siblings, and they would drive around and drop off pans of biscuits at her kid's house. We
Yeah.
loved her so much, and but we don't do things like that anymore. We don't unite, and we don't call each other. We don't talk. We don't social. People have become very selfish, and it's all about themselves, and they're very non-socialistic. That's why a whole lot of our young people, they're up all night on their cell phones all night long, and then during the daytime they want to go to sleep because they're up all night. They're in the chat rooms, they're on Instagram, they're on TikTok,
On them
they're on all that.
drugs,
Huh?
on them drugs.
On them drugs, man, smoking a swish of sweets and everything else, you name it.
Mhm.
And they're there. So when I went out to a school, I'm not gonna call a name, but the teachers literally had to change the subjects that they taught from the morning till the afternoon because the children were getting there and they were too tired in the morning to comprehend the subjects.
They up all night.
Putting their heads on the desk and everything. So, we can't teach math and English right here. We got to move it up in the daytime.
Yeah. See, that's yeah.
So, it's sad that they had to do that, but man, these parents are allowing these kids to do it and live this kind of lifestyle. You can't discipline kids no more like you used to.
I see a lot of parents now treat their children like that's their best friend.
Man, look, a lot of these parents now are doing drugs with their children. They're like their best friend and all of that, and they dancing and twerking and doing everything else with their kids. You know what I mean? And they don't realize that's their kid. You know?
I see grandmothers that are in their 40s and up on TikTok twerking to Ice Spice or Megan Thee Stallion. You know what I mean? You a grandmother, but you dance to this young 20-year-old girl music like this is a accomplishment, or like this is something positive. You supposed to be the teacher. You're the
You
one.
know, you're right. I heard this song. What was it called? Uh, Pound Town.
Yeah, yeah.
And I saw the video. I said, "Oh man, oh no,
Do you know that
no,
that same artist, she has
huh?
admitted that same artist that you're talking about, that girl,
Yeah,
she has admitted in many interviews she's had multiple STDs.
Is a lyric I said, damn, this nigga burn me pussy smoking like a seed. I had chlamydia before though twice.
see there,
She's admitted to it. And they glorify this.
they glorify it. When I
Like,
saw that video, I said, "Oh man, I couldn't believe what I was hearing and what I was seeing." You know,
that was a video I shared on my Facebook. It was some little girls, couldn't have been no older than 5 or 6. They moving their hand, talking about some shake
yeah,
that, hands
check
on your knees.
that, man. Little kids,
Yeah.
and they grow up with that, man, and that's what they know.
Go back to what you said. They get the mind first.
It's here.
Get the mind of them babies first.
It's here. Get the babies in the young people's mind, and you can control them and everything that's going on.
It's sad, and nobody sees it. And like I said, they say, "Oh, I couldn't have lived back then." Well, you're living it today.
Yeah, you living it today. You know, those people. See, the thing about it, you think you free.
Mm-hmm.
You think you free today, but you're not free.
So we don't see the physical change.
Yeah, right,
We don't
right.
see the physical, so we think that they're not like that anymore. Oh, it's a different time.
We don't live in that day and time no more. They're free, but they're not.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's
Yeah, whole nother. But like like I said, I want to say I appreciate you for giving me your time, brother Bobby. One more time for people that want to know how to reach out to the radio station or want to check into the station. Can you give them the radio station one more time?
Oh yeah. Those of you who are watching this and want to get in touch with us here at KBOB 89.9, that's our local radio station. We're located at 1216 North Lansing Avenue here in Tulsa, or you can go to our website at kbob899.com. Again, it's kbob899.com. And hey, check us out. Come by. We got a lot of conscious stuff going on over here at the radio station, and get involved. Volunteer.
Definitely, most definitely. I appreciate you, brother. It's been an honor having you on here, brother Bobby.
Thank you, man. I love you, man.
I love you too, brother. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Peace and love.